Mr. President, on testing, yesterday you said that we will very soon be testing 5 million people.
Well, I don't know where it came up.
Yeah. You said that.
I'd like to refer to these two people because I don't know where it came up. Everyone kept saying, you said there'd be 5. That was a study that came out. Somebody came out with a study of 5 million people. Do I think we will? I think we will, but I never said it. We're testing millions of people. We're testing more people than any country in the world by far, by double, by much more than double, more than everybody else combined we're testing. But somebody started throwing around 5 million. I didn't say 5 million. Somebody said 5 million. I think it might have been the Harvard report. There was a report from Harvard, and they said 5 million. Well, we will be there, but I didn't say it. I mean, I didn't say it, but somebody came out with a report saying 5 million. It sounds like a lot. Yesterday, I looked at Deborah. I said, what's with the 5 million? I think that was from the Harvard report. But we are going to be there at a certain point. We'll be there, but we're more advanced than any country in the world on testing. And not only that, the testing is the best test, not only the most. They always say, well, you know, you're doing millions, but what about 5 million? I'm saying, where did that number, I keep asking, where does it come from? I really learned this morning, I think it was probably the Harvard said that'd be nice. And sure it would be nice, and we'll be there, but again, we didn't say it. Who said it is a report. We have other reports talking about a much lower number. But we're doing better than anybody in the world by far. The people that have worked on it have been incredible.
Another day, another instance of Trump denying something that he said literally less than 24 hours ago. At this point, it's like he's just mocking his supporters for believing anything he says. Now, this is Trump claiming multiple times that he never said that the United States would ramp up testing to 5 million tests per day, which is an interesting take considering this is what he said one single day earlier.
Some health experts say the U.S. needs 5 million tests per day by June in order to safely reopen. You unveiled a plan yesterday that will increase testing, but not by that much. Why not? And can you get to that benchmark?
Well, it will increase it, and it'll increase it by much more than that in the very near future. We're way ahead of everyone on testing. We haven't been given the press in terms of, I think, fairness of the press, but that's okay, and that's why I appreciated the statement before by Yahoo. We are way ahead on testing. We are the best in the world on testing. We've tested much more than anybody else, times 2.
I hear you saying you're confident you can surpass 5 million tests per day. Is that?
Well, we're going to be there very soon. If you look at the numbers, it could be that we're getting very close. I mean, I don't have the exact numbers. We would have had them if you asked me the same question a little while ago because people with the statistics were there. We're going to be there very soon.
You'd think that the self-proclaimed social media genius would have figured out the concept of video footage. What this is just one more example of Trump saying something at a press conference because he thinks it sounds good in the moment. He thinks that it's the right thing to say. But when he's actually held to account for it, when it comes time to actually follow through, then suddenly the backtracking begins. Suddenly he pretends that he doesn't have any idea where we possibly could have heard such a thing, and we're just supposed to accept at face value his blatant gaslighting. And that's because he knows that we won't be able to get to 5 million tests a day, even though experts have said that that's where we need to be to safely reopen the country. And why won't we get there? Because it's difficult and Trump needs the easy route. That's why he spent so much time hawking miracle cures instead of putting in the work and making sure that we had a testing infrastructure in this country, which, as we've learned from countries like South Korea and Germany, is the proven method at containing the spread. But Trump didn't do that. And so instead, he uses his daily press briefings to brainstorm treatments like, what if we injected disinfectant? And what do we have to lose from popping hydroxychloroquine pills, other than, you know, our lives? And so the issue becomes that when we should be focusing our efforts on circulating accurate information about the virus and ways to contain the spread, we're instead mired in a perpetual cycle of calling out Trump's lies and dispelling the falsehoods that he is spreading. Imagine the good that could have come from a press conference focused on advocating for social distancing as opposed to the damage that actually came from the fact that Trump was, quote, musing aloud and suggested that the American people inject disinfectant as a possible treatment for the virus. Imagine the good that could have come from better better using all the time wasted promoting hydroxychloroquine, which a study is now showing is killing people. Imagine the good that could have come from better using all that time pretending that it would go away with the heat and that it was just as deadly as the flu and that this was just another Democrat hoax like impeachment or the Russia probe. But because Trump cannot manage to control himself and his impulses, the United States government isn't getting accurate information to its citizens, it's just constantly playing cleanup for Trump's own unforced errors. And so we'll continue to contend with two problems here while the rest of the world contends with only one. Because while we have the issue of a pandemic sweeping across this country, a virus that has already killed more Americans than the Vietnam War and more Americans than we had combat deaths in World War I, we also have the issue of trying to contain a president who physically cannot bring himself to tell the truth. And so he says whatever fleeting thought crosses his mind, he sows confusion and doubt and chaos, he's led his supporters to ingest unproven treatments, at times fatally. It's not just the deadly virus that Americans are contending with, it is a president whose leadership during this crisis has invariably led to more harm than good. So if you support this president, take a look at the clips in this video and consider that if Trump is willing to lie about something he said less than 24 hours earlier, caught on tape, ask yourself what else he would lie about, because the answer thus far has been nearly everything.